I was going to work in a restaurant, work for the best. And so I worked my way up through different restaurants over the years, where I ended up at El Gaucho. What I thought at the time was one of the best restaurants that you could work for in the industry. And sadly, one of the things that I found out was that they are just as guilty as everyone about the abuses of the labor violations. Me personally, I was working for El Gaucho for 3 years, but it was enough time to see things that I didn't like. And personally, I feel a responsibility to the friends and coworkers, people that I consider as close as family, in order to hopefully right these things and make the industry better as a whole. Specifically, the expectations to work off the clock in order to get your station ready, in order to learn the menu, in order to have all your tables set and ready to go for when guests come into the restaurant. You're required to do a lot of prep work, and so sometimes these things are expected that you would be working off the clock in order to not affect the labor costs of the restaurant. Also, in order to work your 5 shifts, because restaurant workers work for their tips, not for their hourly necessarily. We were unfortunately expected to manage our hours and sometimes clock off early or not clock in at all in order to have our 4th, 5th, or 6th shift. There were other ways of compensation that we were given in lieu of clocking in or not having an hourly rate, and that was promotional cards. It was more of a kind of a underhanded thank you for doing these things, like working off the clock, was to hand you a promo card for $50 or $100 because you worked a few hours this week and a few hours last week and a few hours the week before off the clock.